meeting of the Board of Regents of the Texas Tech University System is now called to order. Good morning to everyone. Welcome. The board will continue in open session and meet as a committee of the whole and meeting of the board to consider items as a committee of the whole. Our first item for consideration is authorization by the board of a resolution honoring the late Dr. Bernard Mittermeier. Dr. Mittermeier has a long and outstanding life history, and you're going to learn a little bit more about him throughout the course of this honoring this morning. In honor of Dr. Mittermeier's long and outstanding work, the Chancellor and this board recommends approval of the resolution as follows. Whereas the Board of Regents of the Texas Tech University System is proud to recognize and honor Dr. Bernard Theodore Mittermeier for a lifetime of dedicated and distinguished service to his country, his fellow veterans, Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center, and communities throughout the state and region. And whereas Dr. Mittermeier retired as a lieutenant general after serving with honor, integrity, and remarkable distinction for 28 years in the United States Army, including as commanding officer of Walter Reed Army Medical Center and as the 35th Surgeon General of the Army. And whereas Dr. Mittermeier provided exemplary service to students, employees, and community members as a teacher, mentor, doctor, and leader at Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center, where he served as interim president, executive vice president, and provost, among many other leadership positions. And whereas Dr. Mittermeier was instrumental in creating and leading a committee for the improvement of veterans' health care on the South Plains, which ultimately led to the creation of the new Lubbock Veterans Affairs Outpatient Clinic and expanded critical and life-saving access to care and services for veterans in the region. And whereas Dr. Mittermeier indisputably lived a life in service of others with an immeasurable impact on countless students, colleagues, patients, and veterans. And whereas the Board of Regents offers expressions of profound gratitude for such dedication, service, and passion, now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Regents of the Texas Tech University System on this date, May the 5th, 2023, does hereby extend its heartfelt appreciation and recognize the myriad of contributions of Dr. Bernard Theodore Mittermeier to medicine, education, and health care, and his expertise, sacrifice, and relentless dedication to others throughout his life. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be prepared for the family of Dr. Mittermeier to share as an expression of high regard from this Board of Regents. Before we move on to the vote on this item, I call upon Chancellor Mitchell and President Rice Spearman for their remarks about Dr. Mittermeier. Chancellor Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think anybody in the community knows Dr. Mittermeier in a variety of capacities. One of the things that was always so descriptive of Dr. Mittermeier, well, for one thing, he was destined to greatness because his middle name was Theodore, just yes. FYI.
Keep going.
Yeah. All those years that he worked at the VA, at the clinic, he was just Dr. Bernie to all the patients. And these patients didn't realize, the vast majority of them never realized they had a lieutenant general, former Surgeon General of the Army, taking care of them. He never cared about accolades, ever. I think that sums him up pretty well. That's all I got to say.
Dr. Rice Spearman.
What we like to talk about, Dr. Mittermeier, is his commitment to teen care. And you probably wonder, well, Lori, that's well recognized across the nation, teen care. But when Bernie Mittermeier came to the Health Sciences Center in the late 1980s and early 1990s, teen care wasn't a term that existed. Long before interprofessional education was part of the curriculum across all of our health-related institutions across the nation, Bernie walked in the door, and the first thing he did was he called all of the healthcare providers in the room, no matter who you were, what you were doing, from the housekeeper all the way through, and said, guys, we are a team, and we're going to work as a team to care for our patients. We know that that laid the foundation for our university in interprofessional education and how we became the first recognized health-related institution in the nation to put interprofessional education in our curriculum, and we were recognized for that. So we stand on the shoulders of this incredible man. He would walk the halls. He talked to everyone. You felt engaged and a part of his life and a part of the team. You know, a good leader has people who want to follow him. And that was Bertie Minnemeyer. You were proud to be with him and you wanted to follow him. So it's an honor to honor him today.
And just from a community standpoint, to the great unwashed in the community that knew of Dr. Mittermeier but didn't know of his background or his history, he, as a friend of our family, you would not have known his accomplishments, but the sparkle in his eye and the smile on his face told you everything you needed to know about it. Humble, sincere, and just a man of the people. And his healing hand was profound, not only in this capacity, but in his interpersonal relationships with those that he touched.
And Chairman, I will say this, don't let that fool you about Mittermeier. He was kind to everybody, but when he was determined to get something done, you know, that kind-hearted, nice demeanor. You know, they say that in the battle between the stream and the pebble, the stream wins, not through strength, but through persistence. That's Bernie. Yeah, so that VA, when I first started the Health Science Center in 2010, he said, we had the four generals that got together back then to meet about this. We had a meeting with the director of the VA hospital from Amarillo, great guy. And Bernie said, how long is this going to take? And the guy says, it'll take about 10 years. And Bernie said, 10 years? He goes, I'll be dead by then. He goes, we got to do it faster than that. But we started, and Ryan Henry was instrumental in our shop for doing this, but we spent the next decade hammering it out and hammering it out and hammering it out. And Bernie never let up, and in 2020, that thing opened. Pretty impressive.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Chancellor Mitchell and President Rice Spearman again. What an extraordinary man and life so well lived. With that being said, Regents, do I hear a motion for approval of the resolution as presented?
Motion.
Is there a second? Second. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. We would like for the Mittermeier family to come up for the presentation of the resolution, please.
No, I probably do need the mic. I just want you to know how honored my husband would be by this. He loved this place. He loved everything about it. And I think that you all are going to push.
That's right. I don't really need it.
I think everybody here will push forward just like he did. honor that Bernie ever got. So,
I can't ever quite get it right, but Mary Beth Mittermeier and her grandson Carter, okay? Thank you so much. We will now continue with introductions and recognitions. Chancellor Mitchell, President Hawkins, Interim President Lamb, President Skuvenek, and President Rice Spearman, and President Lang, will you please present your introductions and recognitions, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a few recognitions as well as one introduction today. First, I'd like to recognize Kay Rhodes. I saw Kay earlier. Where is she? Stand up, Kay. As many of you know, we've been going through a period of transition in the past year within the Texas Tech System Office of the CFO, as well as our CIO. In 2021, Kay Rhodes, Associate Vice Chancellor and Chief Information Officer, announced her retirement after more than 40 years of service to the Texas Tech system. This area within the system is immensely critical to our day-to-day as well as our long-term operations, as is the need for a strong, robust IT infrastructure. So Kay retiring left us with big shoes to fill. Luckily for us, she agreed to return to assist with the transition as we search for the next CIO, and I'm happy to say that we finally made it to the end of that search in March. Throughout her service, Kay has been a valuable member of our leadership team, working with the CIOs from our universities to oversee our information system and technology operations. Kay, thank you for your contributions to the system, and we hope you enjoy your well-deserved retirement. So with Kay moving on, I'd also like to introduce our new Associate Vice Chancellor and Chief Information Officer, Keith Hallman, who began his role on March 1st. Keith, where are you? Stand up, Keith. Prior to joining the Texas Tech system, Keith spent 16 years at the University of Texas at Arlington. His 26-year career includes significant leadership experience across multiple industries and technologies with a strong track record of success implementing IT organizational change, technology innovation, and strengthening IT foundational pillars. In his new position, Keith will serve on the CIO Council with all of our universities and provide leadership, direction, and oversight for the IT departments in the Texas Tech University System Administration, including enterprise services and communication services, information services, and technology operations, as well as systems management. This is something of a coming home to Texas Tech for Keith. He earned his bachelor's as well as his master's degrees in information systems from the Rawls College of Business. In addition, his daughter is also a Red Raider, just having finished her junior year at Texas Tech. Keith, welcome home. Next, I would like to recognize Emily Wilkinson. Where's Emily? Stand up, Emily. Y'all remember Emily from yesterday? She is the Executive Director of the Public Art at Texas Tech University System. Yesterday, we heard from her when she did her presentation on the website. When you think about Texas Tech University System and the communities that we serve, the first things that generally come to mind are probably things like agriculture, energy, academics, healthcare, and very often art may not be on that list, but it should be because we're leaders in this area, both in instruction and research as well as in the art that we display on our campuses. It's no secret that exposure to the arts enriches the lives of those who are lucky enough to access and have access to artwork. Art has the power to change lives and through them, change the world. And leading that change in the tech system is Emily. And Emily served the system for the past 21 years, including the past 9 years as director of the system's public art program. Through Emily's work, countless people at our academic campuses and our health-related campuses across the state have gained access to hundreds of items that include interactive art, installations large and small, and sculptures that represent history, science, tradition, and more. Because of her efforts, the collection is consistently recognized as one of the top public collections in the United States. Emily also, bless you, has passionately served the community over the past 2 decades. Her work in museums, as well as service on various boards and committees, has had a transformative impact through increased outreach efforts, opportunities for engagement, and an overall awareness of the benefits of a thriving arts culture. This year, Emily was recognized for her exemplary service and extensive contribution to her field by the YWCA and was awarded the Women of Excellence Award in Arts and Culture. Emily, congratulations on this impressive honor, and thank you for your contributions to our system, our community, and the arts. All right, Teresa Drill, stand up. Finally, I'd like to recognize and thank one other person who's been instrumental in the Texas Tech system for more than 3 decades. I knew that Teresa would be here today because in 36 years of working here, she's only missed 2 board meetings, which tells me she definitely needs a life. Teresa is a registered architect as well as interior designer, and she's worked with dozens of component university presidents and all 5 chancellors in the Texas Tech system. During her time here, she's worked on more than 200 projects, including the planning and construction of the United Supermarkets Arena, as well as assisting on the Veterans Affairs project that eventually resulted in our much-needed Lubbock VA. While we're happy for her to begin this next adventure, it's also bittersweet knowing just how much she's contributed and how much knowledge she carries about the system. Is Billy Breedlove here? Yes. Billy earlier this morning was over in the coroner's office just sobbing quietly. And I asked him why, and he said it's because Teresa's not going to be there anymore. I'm just kidding. He wasn't sobbing quietly, he was quite loud. The good news is, for Billy and the rest of us, that Teresa has agreed to stay in a part-time capacity as a special advisor. But I'm wondering when the part-time part of it really starts, because it seems like she's still here 8 to 5 every day. Teresa, thank you for all of your contributions to our system and all the components. We wish you well on the next phase of your life. Last night at the Chancellor's Council Awards, we were talking about, at the gala, we were talking about the story of Charlie Plum, the U.S. Navy pilot who spent time in a prisoner of war camp in Vietnam, and afterwards was at a dinner and bumped into somebody that knew who he was and said, "You're that Plum guy, aren't you?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "How'd you know?" He goes, "Because I'm the guy, the sailor that packed your parachute on the Kitty Hawk." These are folks that pack parachutes for our system, and I think they all deserve another round of applause. And then finally, we have a special recognition. We have Congressman Jody Arrington with us. Let's give him a round of applause. Will Rogers used to joke that every now and then you'll have a politician come along that really unites people. And Jody has united Democrats and Republicans all in wondering just how in the hell he got up there. I'm kidding, Jody. Where is he?
He hadn't left yet.
Stand up, Jody. Congressman Arrington is a proud West Texan, proud Texas Tech alum. His career of service includes roles at our state and national capitals, as well as time in the TTU system administration as a vice chancellor. As a freshman congressman, he played a pivotal role in restoring cotton to the Farm Bill safety net, providing historic tax reform and regulatory relief, and making the largest investment in our military in over a decade. Since 2019, he served on the Committee on Ways and Means to prioritize rural America's most critical issues: agriculture, energy, and health care. Now in his 3rd term in Congress, he has served West Texas as a member of the Agriculture, Budget, and Veterans Affairs Committees, as co-chair of the Rural Health Care Task Force, as well as the Congressional Term Limit Caucus, and as chair of the Veterans Affairs Subcommittee on Education and Workforce Training. At the beginning of the 118th Congress this January, Congressman Arrington was also selected to serve as the chairman of the House Budget Committee, a true honor for him and a true honor for all of West Texas. Congressman Arrington, we are so proud of what you've done to represent our system as well as our university. And in honor of this recent accomplishment, we'd like to present you with the ceremonial gavel from the Texas Tech University system.
I asked Jody to say a few words, but please don't preach.
Good luck with that.
You're very brave, Mr. Chairman. I'd be remiss if I didn't make a comment about Bernie Midmeyer. I spoke on the floor in his honor and in honor of Mary Beth and their family. I would say it's hard to talk about him without getting choked up, and I appreciate the emotion behind the words already said, but he was a unique person. And if there ever was infectious optimism and an indomitable spirit, it was embodied in Bernie Midmeyer, along with, quite frankly, the American dream. I mean, he was a first-generation American, rose through the ranks, highest recognition, peacetime military award, and then all the things that he accomplished that were spoken of. I'd say his greatest legacy isn't the VA. It's people like me who he had a tremendous impact on. So we'll see him again, but we miss him. Teresa, Kay, congratulations. I enjoyed serving alongside of you, and I appreciate your friendship and grateful for your contributions to my alma mater. Mr. Chairman, Regents, Mr. Chancellor, and Presidents, you know I'm a proud Red Raider, and it's great to be back on campus. And I'm flooded with tremendous emotions and memories of my time here, not only as a student, but also as a vice chancellor serving along some of the people in this room, some of my fondest professional memories. I'm grateful, like so grateful to my core for the education I received, for the friendships I made, for the personal and leadership development that I experienced, and then of course for the opportunities that have been afforded me because of my time here on campus and because of the Texas Tech family. No doubt about it. Wouldn't be where I am. Son of a tractor salesman and a school teacher from Plainview, Texas, if it weren't for Red Raider Nation rallying for me. I could also say I literally wouldn't be here if it weren't for Texas Tech, because my mom and dad met here. My dad was a first-generation college student, grew up on the east side of Amarillo, and because he got a scholarship to play basketball, roomed with Gerald Myers his freshman year. Met my mom, and because he was a good dancer, Mom decided to marry him, and the rest is history. I'm extremely honored to represent West Texas and my alma mater in our nation's capital. I think I appreciate the list of accomplishments. Certainly, I'm there to put the plow on the ground and deliver results at the end of the day. That's what we have to have to address the challenges and move our country forward. But I think the best way I can contribute to Texas Tech as I serve alongside of you, and my best contribution to the Tech students who will graduate, I think tomorrow and thereafter, is to make sure that they inherit the blessings of liberty, that they inherit a safe and strong country, and that they inherit the land of opportunity so they can pursue their dreams and prosper like you all have and like we have. I think, and I would submit to you, Mr. Chairman, that we have a common mission and a common calling, you and me, us in this room as public servants. First of all, to prioritize the investment in ag, energy, and rural America. This is the epicenter of production, ag, and energy. I say it all the time, this is the food, fuel, and fiber capital of the world. And while this is the ag and energy, it's the lifeblood of our economy and it's our way of life, it is critically important to our nation, not only our economy, but national security. Quite frankly, we don't just feed and clothe the American people, we address hunger worldwide, energy poverty worldwide. So we make an invaluable contribution to our country, and it is critical. And nobody does this better than Texas Tech, that we continue to partner with those industries so that we can continue to meet the challenge of the future. And by the way, with energy, all the above. Investment in clean and green in the future, and respecting the bread and butter that makes the wheels turn on this economy today. And there isn't anything in here, not a computer, not glasses, not your clothes, not the rubber on your tires, not the airplane that you flew here on, that is not part of the hydrocarbon economy. So we have to be balanced, and we have to exercise West Texas common sense in that regard. Secondly, our calling is to ensure that our product reflects the people and values of West Texas. We got to ride for the brand. And I remember all the things we used to say to promote Texas Tech. You know, we're the only campus with a medical school and law school and business school on the same campus. I remember the centers of excellence, food safety, Pulse Power, Wind Engineering, and on and on. That's not what makes Texas Tech unique. That is not what sets us apart, in my humble opinion, from our competitors. It's our culture. It's our culture. And that culture is informed by the people and values of West Texas. Remember, we come from a long line of pioneering people who braved the elements to settle this West Texas frontier. Fiercely independent, freedom-loving, resilient, tough, caring, resourceful, and above all, they loved God and they loved people. And I would just say, while you are fiduciaries for taxpayers, as am I, and while you are the governing board for this institution, and I'm in the business of governing, I think our greater calling is to be guardians of our culture. And so I'm honored to come alongside of you and ride for the brand of West Texas. I think the best is yet to come. From here it's possible. Happy birthday, Texas Tech. Get your guns up and go West Texas.
Jody, thank you.
That concludes my introductions.
Who's next? Dr. Rice Spearman?
Keno.
Okay, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. John Chicago. John, if you'll stand up. He's here. There he is. Before joining Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center, Dr. John Chicago formerly served as Digital and Technology Advancement Scholar for the National Institutes of Health and the DigiHealth Senior Technology Consultant for the International Finance Corporation World Bank Group. At the NIH, Dr. Chicago provided oversight for one of the country's largest artificial intelligence programs and supported underserved populations in developing AI for healthcare. On behalf of the IFC World Bank, Dr. Chicago engaged several hospital systems and health insurance organizations globally in executing digital health transformation roadmaps that facilitated funding with a positive return on investment. This involved need evaluation, care services delivery planning, business planning, technology planning, pilots, stakeholder training, and outcome evaluation planning. Dr. Kajago has been the professor of telehealth for the American College of Education and adjunct professor for strategic management of healthcare organizations and healthcare finance and reimbursement at California Baptist University. With his strong background and firsthand experience with the positive impact of digital health, Dr. Kajago is passionate about his potential to make healthcare safer and more effective, patient-centric, timely, and efficient. This is seen through his work where he has been engaged to help launch mobile health telemedicine platforms to market, serving regions where most did not have access to quality health care. Additionally, Dr. Kajago has leveraged his digital healthcare experience to consult a national e-health strategy for countries including Rwanda, Kenya, Haiti, and Ghana. As you can see, we are developing a world-class team to help us transform healthcare in rural America and rural Texas, and we are thrilled to have Dr. Kajago join our team.
President Hawkins, anyone? President Lamb, how am I doing here? Okay.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Good morning. I'd like to introduce, and she could not be here with us today, Leah Gose. Leah is and I think they have a picture up there of her. Leah is our new dean for the Lamar D. Fane College of Fine Arts. Leah previously served and is an associate professor in the Juanita and Ralph Harvey School of Visual Arts. Leah joined Midwestern in 2020 and has served as our interim dean for this past year. Leah received a Bachelor of Fine Art or Bachelor of Arts from the University of Colorado and a Master of Fine Arts in Photography and Intermedia from Texas Woman's University. Her art practice reflects the multi-layered ways of investigating perception, memory, and personal history, and incorporates historic and contemporary photographic processes. The works contain elements of truth and fiction, resembling vague memories and the reconstruction of events. Her work has been exhibited national and in international venues. Professor Gose remains an active faculty member and brings a wealth of experience and knowledge to this position. And I'll tell you, Leah is an individual that has a great work ethic, a really good humor about her, good disposition, and she is an absolute team player. And she is the type of individual that we want to invest in and continue to grow at our university. And we are absolutely thrilled that Leah came to us a couple of, or 3 years ago now as a member of the faculty, that she accepted the interim dean role for a year, and now she's accepted the permanent dean position. I can't wait, and we can't wait to see the future of the College of Fine Arts under Leah's leadership, and we are so thrilled that she is serving this leadership position for us.
President Hawkins, any introductions?
We have none.
Okay.
Nobody leaves Angelo State.
Scooping Lawrence?
You're up.
Mr. Chair,
Sorry.
I have 4 introductions this morning. I think,
Do we need Dr. Lang first?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to introduce because if I do, Lori will try to hire him.
Okay.
Okay, so
I think they showed that visual a bit too early. My first introduction this morning is Dr. Mitzi Lauderdale. Mitzi is a lifelong Red Raider. She received her bachelor's, master's, and her law degree from Texas Tech before she went to Kansas State to get her PhD. She now serves as the vice provost for Academic Innovation and Student Success, which is a newly formed office within the office of the provost. And about a month ago, she oversaw the launching of a new initiative here called the Raider Success Hub. It's an online platform designed to enhance the educational experience for connecting academic success staff with our students. It's a 360-degree approach that has strengthened the communication between the students, the staff, the faculty, providing continuous access to all types of services, whether it be alerts, to holds, class schedules, billing, financial aid, career services, registration, wellness, and much more. We all know that our first priority at Texas Tech is the success of our students, and this is a new effort we're making to enhance their success Mitzi is doing a fabulous job. I hope that in the future she can come back and make a presentation on the Raider Success Hub. But Mitzi, thank you for what you're doing right now. Next, I'd like to introduce Lauren Bloss. Lauren is our new mass writer for the 2023-24 season. She's a senior animal science major with a concentration in equine production, minor in psychology. Last year, she worked with Carolyn Hobbs, who was our mass writer, and before that, she had worked with a previous mass writer, Ashley Adams, so she has a lot of experience in working with the mass writer. She's very much involved in English and Western writing, has been part of the Texas Tech equestrian team. She first saw the mass writer in person when she and her parents made the trip from El Paso to watch her older brother, Justin, play tennis for Texas Tech. I think we all know what a magical moment it is when the mass writer takes the field at the beginning of a game. And next year, we have our first home game against Oregon. Lauren, I can't wait to see you and Centennial champion go across that field. Now, if you could show that slide, please. I'd like to introduce Jason Hale. Jason is Assistant Vice President of Enrollment Management and Executive Director of Undergraduate Admissions. He's been working for Tech for more than 13 years. This past spring, they took our Centennial, you see it there on the top, there's a semi with that logo, and they drug that thing around to 17 different high schools around the state. I was only able to go to 9 of those schools, but if you could have seen the enthusiasm, the pride, and the professionalism of Jason and all of his team in enrollment management when they went to those schools, you'd be so thankful and proud of them as well. We're so fortunate to have people in enrollment management who have a real passion for this school, but we're also very lucky that at those schools, there are a ton of Red Raiders who carry the banner for Tech. And I want to tell you about one person in particular at Wiley. When I was there, I was visiting with David Vinson, who has 3 degrees from Texas Tech, like so many administrators in these schools. We were standing in the hallway waiting to go into the auditorium to speak to the students. Every time a student would go by and would throw the guns up, he'd reach into his pocket and take out $1, give him $1. And I said, "How much does that cost you a year?" He said, "About $3,000. He's been doing this. He's famous in Wiley. He says, if I go into the grocery store, the kids are all doing the guns up, and I have to stand there in the parking lot and hand out dollar bills. But that's the kind of passion we have out there and in that team. And Jason, thank you for the wonderful job you're doing. My final introduction is the man that you already know, Coach Grant McCaslin, our new head coach for men's basketball. We announced Coach McCaslin would be our new head coach on March 31st, right after he led the University of North Texas to a program record 31 wins and an NIT championship. I want to thank Regent Womble, who was part of that search committee and who assisted Kirby in finding not only a great coach, but a great person. As soon as the process for a new coach began, people came forward. They knew Coach McCaslin when he worked under Coach Dickey, and what they talked about was what an incredible human being he was. We know he's a successful coach, but his personal qualities is what I think will make such a tremendous difference for us and for our student athletes. So Coach McCaslin, welcome to Texas Tech, and if you could you please make a few comments?
Yeah, this is awesome. I can't believe you guys let a politician and a Baptist minister's kid get the mic. It's pretty impressive. I am thankful to be here. This is awesome, Chairman and Board, and what a unique time to be here on the 100th year, too. This is awesome. So y'all know my family has tradition with Texas Tech. I actually slept in the United Supermarkets arena as the director of basketball operations, mainly because I got paid $9,000 to work the job. But the other part is, you know how much hard work it takes to be great. And so I'm thrilled to be on your team. And listening to Dr. Mettemeyer and hearing his story, I was inspired. So it's an honor to be able to be introduced today on a day where we honor a man that sounds like just embodied everything that we're about. And then his wife, Mary Beth, turned around to me and said, "We have high expectations for you, Grant." And I felt that in my soul. So really, really thankful to be here. A couple things. One, you know, we've been on the job for about a month. It's been wild, been a whirlwind. And about 2 weeks on the job, I got the email to be introduced here today. And the email was introduced to me. And y'all know, we've had a few guys hit the portal. Everybody know what the portal is? Feels like everybody knows these days. And we had a few guys hit the portal. And then I got an email that said it was addressed to the Dean McCaslin. And I was like, dang, President Skuvenek already fired me, moved me to a dean. But we are, I can't tell you how convicted and excited I am and humbled I am to be the basketball coach and to be on your team. And I mean that with all my heart. It's cool to be with Dr. Lamb because I did get an opportunity to be the head coach at Midwestern State, and that's cool. It's a part of our system. But we've won everywhere we've been, and I say we because we're all a part of this journey, because I started my journey here and my wife played here. But we've won everywhere we've been, and we're going to win here. So everybody kind of walks around me a little tender right now because they're like, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" Okay, so we've had 5 startups, and our first year at Midwestern State, we were 31-3 and went to the Elite 8 for the first time in school's history. And I'm going to tell you a story because those are way more fun than listening to me talk about what we're going to do. 6 years ago, I was introduced to head coach at North Texas. We had won 8 games the year before. Is that good? Thank you. Okay. So 8 games. It's not good. There are 353 Division I teams, and we were ranked 338th. Anybody do quick math of how many teams were worse than us? That's 13. So from a basketball, that's 15. I caught you. You weren't even paying attention. So for a basketball coach, you want to be ranked in the country, right? Everybody wants to start the season ranked. Everybody wants to be preseason hyped. But you know what I want to do? Win in the end. And so there's a great purpose that we have. And I loved meeting Carter, who was Mary Beth's grandson. And we were talking over there, and he's like, "Coach, I'm really excited about the season." And when I meet students on this campus, that's what makes me excited. And for them to be excited, and I am going to body surf one time. I got to pick the right game. But we are going to body surf in the student section. But I'm just excited to represent them and love them. So my first year at North Texas, remind you, we won 8 games. And we got to the end of the season. We were playing in a tournament called the CBI. We all want to play in which tournament? Y'all know? Yeah, we don't play it. So we don't want to play in CBI, so that's not what we're doing. But in our first year from winning 8 games, we were playing at South Dakota. And there was a player on that team that actually played on the national championship team here. And it was his senior year. He was going to grad transfer here to Texas Tech. And we were playing at their place. And we had a young man by the name of Mike Miller. He shot it left-handed, okay, on our team. So we're playing against South Dakota. And he had shot 18% from 3. Y'all know if that's good or not? Not good. He had made 3 threes on the year, but he was a combo guard, and he kept missing. But what happened, he broke his left arm as a young boy, and he shot free throws right-handed as a practice. So he could get to the free throw line and shoot right-handed. I'd watched this all year long. He hit the front of the rim with his left hand, front of the rim with his left hand. This is the day of the game at shoot-around. I said, "I've seen enough of this." I brought Mike over to half court, and I said, "Mike, I want you to shoot for the rest of shoot-around today with your right hand." So it's the first round of the CBI. We're playing at South Dakota. Anybody know the player that played? Matt Mooney. So we're playing Matt Mooney. He's the leading scorer on their team, best player, and they'd only lost 2 home games in 3 years. Mike Miller goes back to shooting lines the day of the game and makes like a bunch of threes in a row. So I'm like, okay, we're going to give this a shot. Pre-game speech, I walk in the locker room. I said, Mike, I want you to shoot all threes today with your right hand. So we go into the game. First pass gets pitched up to Mike. He spins and shoots it with his right hand, and what do you think happened? Went in. You know what our whole bench did? Went crazy. You know what their bench did? Pointed at the assistant coach whose scouting report said he was left-handed and shot 18% from 3. Mike went on to make 4 threes in that game, and we beat South Dakota at South Dakota, and we were, not that I know betting lines, but we were like 22-point dogs in that game. Someone had told me. And we ended up, true story, and we ended up beating them at their place, which is their only loss, and unfortunately it was Matt's last home loss, but I joke with Matt about that. And we went on to win the CBI and win 20 games in our first season at North Texas. So here's what I'll tell you. There's a lot of people that want to tell you it's not going to work out, especially for us. I will tell you this, we will do everything we can, and I genuinely believe we can win a national championship at Texas Tech, and we'll do it. And we'll pour our heart into it and serve you all and love you all with humility and put a product on the floor that you will love and you will believe in. And so I can't tell you how excited I am to be here. And I know it's a Board of Regents meeting, but it feels like a locker room right now. So I am just thrilled to be here, and I'm telling you, we're going to pour our hearts into it. So don't read all the bad stuff. And if you do, just know, hey, it'll turn. So hang in there with us. Come be at games. Come say hello to me. I love meeting people. I love being here, and we're excited about it, and we are going to win. Wreck 'em.
I think Coach has to go. He's got a 6'11" kid in town, so he doesn't need to be jacking with us. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else? Any other introductions, recognitions? Okay. Thank you.
I would say one thing about Grant. I was privileged to be able to serve on that committee. First of all, I think it says a lot about our university, the people that wanted this job, that really campaigned for this job, the people that were interested in talking to us about this job. And Kirby's assembled an amazing lineup of coaches across all of our programs, from Coach Tadlock and Gerlich and Kitley and Stone, obviously Coach McGuire, Coach Sands, the number of teams we have in postseason, the number of teams that go into a season expecting to win. And Grant will fit right into that mold. There will be no drama, but there will be a sense of urgency. There will be high expectations. And I think that we'll look back in 2 years and be just as happy with the fact that we were able to get Grant here as we are, that we have all these other coaches on our staff. And I appreciate the administration and the athletic department and their dedication to finding the right people and then giving them the resources to be successful. I think athletics is the front door to our institution. It is so important to shape the perception of this university among our peers and among the general public. And Grant's going to do a great job of representing Texas Tech. So
Thank you, Dusty. And Cody, both of you, you give us the chance to do things that we couldn't even have dreamed of because of your investment and your belief and your commitments. Your time, your treasure, and your talents make a big difference for us, and I want to thank you for that too. Okay, thanks. All right. The board will continue an open session and meet as a committee of the whole and a meeting of the board. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the board meeting held on February 23rd and 24th of this year?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That motion passes. We will now consider items as a committee of the whole, and I would ask that Vice Chairman Carrick Davis preside over the committee of the whole. Ginger.
item is consideration of the consent agenda. Items A through Q is listed on pages 1 through 48 of the agenda book, and the information agenda as listed on pages 49 through 54. Is there any discussion of the items in either the consent or the information agendas? As a reminder, if there is an item that you would like discussed in further detail or voted on separately from the consent agenda, you may request that item be moved to the committee of the whole agenda. All right, Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approve the consent agenda and acknowledge its review of the information agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes the items to be considered by the committee of the whole at this time.
Thank you, Regent Carrick Davis. Kano, would you please present the schedule of upcoming board meetings, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. At your seating position there is a copy of the proposed 2024 dates. And I'll start there. Those dates were previously shared with the board, and I believe we have a consensus on those dates for 2024. As noted in February 29th and March 1st, our plan of this time is to have a roadshow meeting in Wichita Falls. May 23rd, 24th, we'll be back in Lubbock, and then August 8th and 9th, Lubbock, and then we'll wrap up 2024 with November 14th and 15th here in Lubbock as well. For the remainder of this calendar year, we have 2 additional meetings for 2023, the next being August 8th through 11th, and we'll be here in Lubbock, and then November 16th through 17th in Lubbock once again.
Do we need to, let's see.
We don't need to vote to approve it, it's just a presentation of the item.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that update, Kano. Regent Carrick Davis, you have a special
Yes, I was waiting for this special announcement because the recipient of the special announcement had stepped out. If Mr. James Ozzy Oswald would not sit down quite yet. Most of you know Ozzy. He's here to protect and serve, and he's been a great friend of mine over the last 4 years. But today is his birthday. So we wanted to wish you a happy birthday, Ozzy. Thank you, Chairman.
You're not going to sing?
No, I'm not going to sing.
Very good.
No one needs that.
Thank you. Next, let's hear from our student government presidents. Cam Weezy, would you please present the SGA report for Angelo State University? Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cam Weezy, and I am the new student government president of Angelo State University. As already said, I'm the new 95th session student body president, Cam Weezy, and these are from our campaign that we recently held for this election. So one thing that I really wanted to do with our student government is to really represent Angelo State University. And so for our campaign, we decided to come up with the ASYOU Campus Initiative, abbreviated to ASU. In our campaign, we really highlighted transparency, community, and opportunity at Angelo State University. And with that, for transparency, we wanted to provide new and highlight current resources at Angelo State University, such as budget access to students who are curious about Angelo State Student Government Association, a consistently updated website that will include accurate and up-to-date information about student government, and a calendar of events. Our General Senate meetings are open to the public, and we're really wanting to encourage students at our university to attend and to learn what we really are about. For community, we really wanted to have increased community collaboration, and so that looks like monthly polls on the Angelo State University State of Affairs, such as student feedback on events and initiatives, and student body collaboration on SGA legislation, such as working with respective departments and those students that are representing them in our Senate. And for opportunity, we decided to come up with a Senate outreach program, such as presentations at registered student organizations on our campus, which is RSOs, to recruit students to our SGA Senate and to really educate students at our university what we really provide for them and what we do on our campus. So for our summer priorities as newly elected student body president, I will be collaborating with my exec team to plan fall semester events, set up some leadership opportunities such as collaborating with previous student body presidents of Angelo State, and to really have those team building exercises to really get to know one another, so that way we can really execute our duties to the best that we possibly can. First order of business, realistically, will be refreshing our website to include up-to-date SGA information and resources, as I previously mentioned, so that way students can really know who's representing them going into the fall semester. Later in the summer, we will be scheduling our outreach program sessions with RSOs at Angelo State University, which will be fun to do as I'm friends with many of the student leaders on our campus, and it'll be really fun working with them and to get to know who is in their organizations and how we can really improve our student government. And we will be preparing for our August Senate retreat, and what that includes is that it's a giant team building exercise for SGA Senate to really get to know one another, get to know what to do, such as trainings for new senators, so that way they can learn how to properly draft a bill in our Senate, and to know parliamentary procedure. ASU is a values-based culture, and we will use our 5 core values to really influence and guide our decision-making in our Student Government Association. Any questions?
I have a question, Cam. What's your major?
I'm actually a history major with secondary certification.
Fantastic. You have a wonderful speaking voice.
Thank you.
Did you say, Luke, I am your father?
Luke. No. Thank you. I'm truly honored to represent Angelo State University and to serve all of our students. So, thank you.
Cam, thank you. Thank you very much. Gabby Pettijohn will now present the SGA report from Midwestern State. And Gabby, please watch your voice inflection, apparently.
Apparently. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Gabby Pettijohn, and this is actually my last board report I'm giving you before my amazing new president comes up at the next Board of Regents. So thank you for having me for the last time. So since my last report, as always, my student government has always had a big emphasis on civic engagement and community service, and so we collected an additional 30 bags of clothing for the Wichita Falls community, as we do every month. Then we volunteered and actually created programs on campus that increase student democracy, and we distribute over $1,500 in support funds to student organizations, campus events, and also for leadership events going on at Midwestern State University. Some of our completed projects we did this semester, and there were a lot of them. It was a very busy spring semester. We were part of MSU Day at the Capitol, which was the first one the student government got to participate in conjunction with the Texas Tech University System Administration. I had the pleasure of working with Regent Carrick Davis and Chancellor Mitchell as we visited the Texas Capitol, met our state leaders, and our President's Cabinet got to meet some amazing people and had a great experience there. We also were able to host SGA Junior, which is where we had local elementary students come to MSU, and we taught them how to get involved in their schools and communities, taught them about student government, as well as the Texas Tech University system, and all the opportunities they had. So they had an amazing experience there. And then we hosted a disability support luncheon, where we had a luncheon for our DSS students to increase their community and really make sure we're listening to their students on how to best improve campus for those with disabilities and always keep them in mind going forward. Finally, some of the other things we've done is we had SGA members compete in the National Model United Nations, where we were, as MSU, won the Distinguished Delegate Award for our entire university, which is the top award you can get. And then we just recently hosted our Spring 2023 MAV Gala, which is our student government banquet, which we were really proud of, and we're able to offer awards to our staff and faculty that students voted on. And then we also were part of the other Texas Tech University system presidents with our joint Senate session that was hosted in El Paso. So we got to go to the amazing El Paso institution, meet with y'all's president, and we just had a great time passing the bills there. And finally, we reformatted our bylaws, which should be in place for next year, as well as pass a student bill of rights that we hope will eventually come to y'all. And then I want to introduce our next elected SGA executive officers. We have our Vice President of Internal Affairs, Joseph Arthur, who's going to preside over our Senate, our Vice President of External Affairs, Vincent Peter, and our Student Body President, Zetta Kennedy, who is also here in the building with me. And she will be the one presenting at the next Board of Regents for y'all. And I just wanted to say it's been a pleasure to be here for the Texas Tech University system to represent MSU, and I have loved getting to know everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunities you give students, and it really matters a lot for us. I know especially for me as we go forward in graduating, it's an amazing opportunity to always come up here and be able to speak with you, see what Texas Tech is all about, and just really get these opportunities. Are there any questions at this time?
Debbie, thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Congratulations. Joel Rivero, give us the Texas Tech report.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joel Rivero, and I'm serving as the 99th Student Body President of Texas Tech University. So thank you, Chairman Griffin and the rest of the board for allowing me to give you all a report on the Student Government Association on Texas Tech's main campus. So to start off, I just wanted to introduce you to our new executive team. So myself, my name is Joel Rivero. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a junior majoring in political science and finance from Midland, Texas. And Kendall Tully, she's actually here with us today, sitting back there, is our external vice president. She's a junior majoring in chemistry from Lubbock, Texas. Next, we have Emily Sanderson. She is a junior majoring in agricultural and applied economics and general business from Blackwell, Texas. And next up, we have Hunter Robinson, which is going to serve as our graduate vice president. He is a 1L at the School of Law here at Texas Tech, and he is from Dallas, Texas. Emily and Hunter couldn't be here with us today. They're currently taking finals as it is finals week here at Texas Tech. But I just wanted to kind of touch on our core
You're
initiative.
here.
Yes, I am. Yes. So I just wanted to kind of touch on our core initiatives, or as we like to call them, our 4 pillars. First, we have student success, infrastructure, community, and inclusion. I won't go too into detail about them just because we have limited time, but when my team and I first began our campaign, we kind of sat down together and asked ourselves, what are the initiatives that are going to benefit our student body, and how can we enhance the Red Raider experience for all 40,000 students here on campus? And we kind of sat down and figured out that these 4 kind of encompass our culture as it is right now, and moving forward, we can benefit our students with these initiatives. Next up, I'm just going to touch on our ongoing initiatives that we're currently working on. As mentioned at the last Board of Regents meeting, outgoing student body president was briefly touched on the Eyes on the Horizon graduate walk. That is actually going to happen next Thursday, May 11th, and I'm going to touch on that more at the next slide that I have. But that's going to establish a new tradition for our graduating seniors. And then speaking of traditions, we have our first year welcome event that we're planning for this coming fall. So that's going to be a new tradition to welcome all of our incoming first years and transfer students as kind of like a big welcome to the Red Raider family. We're currently ongoing on planning with that, and I'll provide more details on that at the next Board of Regents meeting. Something that we're working on is the Improved Safe Ride program. We're working with third-party rideshare companies to enhance the current Safe Ride program and have an alternative solution for our students to get safe to their home if they're out and about. Next up, we have fee setting year. So as student body president, I'm tasked with finding 130 students to serve on these student fee committees. So that's something that I'm going to be doing from now until July 1st to ensure that we have students at every committee so that the students' voices are heard on that. And then next up, we have expansions on OERs. So I'm currently working with the Open Educational Resources Librarian to see how we can help as a student government, help with these resources and distribute those to all of our students to ensure that we help mitigate financial burdens for our students, just because that's an easier access and a cheaper alternative for our students' textbooks. And then next we have the Centennial Class Gift. The outgoing student body president worked on this for the past year. It's still in discussion, and that's something that I'm going to continue carrying on in my term as student body president with these discussions. And I'm going to continue that just over the summer and through the next year and seeing how we can help with that. But next up, we have the Eyes on the Horizon Graduate Walk to give you guys more details on that. So it will occur next Thursday, May 11th. So graduates are going to walk from the Dairy Barn all the way to Urbanovsky, where the bonfire pit area is. We're going to have live music by Casey Donahue, food trucks, guest speakers such as Dr. Bill Dean, and Coach Stone will be there to kind of rally up our students and kind of send them off as they go into the real world as lifelong Red Raiders. So I'm also going to extend the invitation to everybody in this room. If you are in town May 11th, we would love to have you guys out and support our students and our graduates. But that is all I have for you guys today. If you guys have any questions, I'm open to answering them.
Anything for Joel?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you. Diana Petty, please give the report for the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center. Welcome.
Thank you so much. So to introduce myself really quick, I'm Cheyenne Petty. I'm in my fourth year, well, fixing to be fourth year in 2 weeks, in the School of Pharmacy at the Lubbock campus. I was also a Texas Tech alum. I graduated in 2020, so my time got cut a little short because of the pandemic, but I'm so excited to be back in Lubbock. I did my first 2 years in Abilene, and I'm back home right now. So some information about the SGA from this past couple of meetings. We had an event recently called the Medication Cleanout, where in April, SGA volunteered with this program on the Amarillo, Lubbock, and Abilene campuses to help collect medications from the community. People were able to bring in no longer needed or expired medications, and we were able to dispose of them in an environmentally safe manner. At these 3 different events, we actually collected over 4,000 pounds of no longer needed or expired medications. So we were able to help people clean out their medicine cabinets to help create safer environments. From this experience, we actually passed several different pieces of legislation. The first was a commitment for the SGA to serve at the next medication cleanouts, both in the fall and spring on these 3 different campuses, as well as a proposal to expand the medication cleanouts to the Dallas campus, as we have a School of Pharmacy there as well. We also had several other Senate actions passed. The proposal for a Substance Use Disorder Awareness Week, possibly in October, as that is Substance Use Disorder Awareness Month. The proposal for an Asian Heritage Day in April, as about 25% of our graduates are of Asian descent. We also have the proposal for consistent classrooms for students in Amarillo to ensure their education stays consistent. The proposal for an interprofessional education symposium focused on medication misuse, abuse, and neglect. This would be for all students to help them learn about these very important issues as we continue to learn through our healthcare professions. And the proposal for an increase in visible emergency escape plan routes on the Midland campus to ensure the safety of our peers. We also like to pass celebratory legislation where we recognize different faculty members for their career milestones. We get to recognize people for their generous donations to our different campuses, as well as celebrate new program accomplishments. For example, in April, we had our first cohort of Amarillo TTU HSC School of Nursing students graduate. They graduated with their Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. There were 15 students in this program, which is really exciting as the program opened in January of 2022. Going along the lines of honoring our different faculty members, at the SGA Awards and Installation Banquet, we had the Outstanding Faculty of the Year, which is voted on by students. Here we honored 43 different faculty members for their diligence throughout this past year from all the different schools in our TTU HSC systems, as well as all the different campuses. We also gave out the SGA President's Award of Excellence to senators who had gone above and beyond this past year. Finally, we installed our new officers. So here are some of the new faces that you will see for the TTU HSC SGA. Myself, once again, I am Cheyenne Petty. I will be the president this upcoming year. I am in the School of Pharmacy on the Lubbock campus. Our Vice President of Communications is David Herf, who is in the Physician Assistant Program on the Midland campus. Our Vice President of Operations is Jesse Burnett, who is in the School of Pharmacy on the Dallas campus. And our Vice President of Finance is Matej Dangankar, who is in the Clinical Lab Sciences Program on our Lubbock campus. This is very exciting as it's the first time that we have executive officers who are not on the Lubbock campus, as well as the first time that pharmacy has been a part of the executive board. So we're excited for the new perspectives and the differences that we can see in our SGA. And with that, are there any questions?
Anything for Cheyenne? Thank you very much for that good report.
Thank you all.
Georgia Haney, please come forward and give us the report for the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center in El Paso. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Georgia Haney. I am a third-year dental student at Texas Tech University Health Science Center, El Paso. So I'm going to give you a quick update what we've been up to this past semester. So this is me. So this is our new executive council, myself as president. I was reelected, so you may have seen my face last year. You'll be seeing me again next year. We love to continue what we've been working on. We have our new VP of Finance, Nicole, who's going to be a fourth-year medical student. Our VP of Operations, Chase, who is a very proud TTU grad. Our VP of Service, Patrick. Our VP of Communications, Alexis, our VP of Student Wellness, Jaylene, and our VP of Student Development, Ravathi. I know it looks like we have a lot of exec council members, but we want to be able to focus on all of our different fields so that our students get the best experience. So we recently had our SGA and Registered Student Organization banquet where we celebrated this year's Senate, the exec council, and all the hard work of all the registered student organizations. So it was great. Lots of awards were passed out, and we also were able to celebrate the scholarships that we gave out as SGA. We also hosted, along with Hanny, joint Congress. It was a great time showing off our beautiful campus and talking about the future of the system. It was really great to have everybody fly out to El Paso. I know we come to Lubbock a lot, so it was great to get to come to our side of the state. We also had our TTU HSC El Paso Days of Service. We went together with our Office of Community Outreach to serve multiple different organizations across El Paso, and our students got involved working with faculty and staff. So it was a really great day to get out in the community. We also went to T2HSC El Paso Day at the Capitol in Austin. We met with tons of representatives and senators, and we were recognized on the Senate and House floors. We're very grateful to be able to show off our campus and be able to meet with the representatives. We also had Match Day for 2023, and as you can tell by these great maps, we have a lot of really great future doctors heading all over the state of Texas and all over the country. We're very excited to have so many Red Raiders representing us all over. We had 14 students match to residencies in El Paso, so they will get to stay with us, and 13 stay at our campus. So we're really excited to have them stay and continue on with their careers here. We had our Spring into Wellness Week just so we can focus on the mental health and physical well-being of our students. We had a 5K, picnic and puppies, and wellness speakers. The puppies were great. Some senator projects we've been working on is our UMC food vouchers so that our students that are doing clinicals right now, so usually our third and fourth year medical students, can get a free meal every once in a while. So we provide them with a $5 gift certificate that can be redeemed at any of the food places at the UMC hospital that most of them work at. We're also wanting to have another mental health day so that we can take time off and focus on us. And then we're also going to do an oral cancer awareness 5K and walk during the summer. Our future plans, a retreat, a fall fiesta and welcome week to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, and also Mexican Independence Day, fall student orientations, and senator elections in August. Also, side note, we are so proud of you, Hanny. Thank you so much for serving the system and for representing us so well. We're very happy to have you represent us and all students of Texas Tech, and we can't wait to see what you accomplish in all of your future endeavors. Thank you, guys. Any questions?
Georgia, thank you.
Thank you.
Great to see you again. Thanks.
Thank you.
Chairman all our SGA presidents, thank you again for all those reports. Before we continue, kind of a bittersweet moment, I think, for me and for members of this board. I'd like to give a big thank you to Hani Anabi. He served as our student regent since June of 2022. We introduced him in San Angelo and at that meeting, and his term will expire at the end of this month, and we've enjoyed working with you, Hani. You've contributed greatly to this board. You've been just an active and consistent advocate for the student body. Hani's graduating this month, I guess, or yes, with the medical doctorate this month from the TTU HSC El Paso campus, and he'll be marrying Susan Jean Martin in June before starting his general surgery residency at Baylor University Medical Center in Dallas. Hani, there's the common thread throughout this, and I'm glad you're kind of knocking a couple of things out at once. And I'm speaking maybe a little out of context here, but residency program, you're going to be reporting to higher authorities, most of through this process. More experienced doctors, those who will give you advice and counsel and direction. So will you be in your marriage also? One lasts 4 years, the other lasts an eternity. But we know you're going to be successful really throughout your career and life, and we just wish you the very best. You were kind enough to bring gifts to the board, but the gift that you brought was your presence, your attitude, your commitment, and your love of this university, and we will miss you, but you'll always be a treasured part of this history, honey. Godspeed and best wishes to you, and thank you for your good work. Please share a few remarks, if you would.
Thank you, Chairman Griffin. You always give me great wedding advice. I think the first time I met you, you told me about the 3 ups.
Yeah, that's right.
I won't repeat them here in front of everybody, but
No,
find
go
me
ahead.
afterwards, and I'd be happy to share. I can't believe it's already been a year. I mean, it's gone by so very fast, and as I sit here in this moment and reflect on it all, it's really hard to put into words, but I'm going to try and do just that. Before I get started on that end, I just want to say a few thank yous. First and foremost, I want to thank Governor Abbott and his Office of Appointments for entrusting me with this wonderful opportunity. As I already mentioned, it's been an incredible year serving the student body on the Board of Regents. Thank you, Governor Abbott. I want to thank Chancellor Mitchell, you and your wife Janet for being good friends and mentors to both Susan and I. I know we've had the opportunity to sit and chat with y'all, whether it's at a football game or at the Houston Rodeo, and just all of the advice and everything you've done. It's meant a lot to us, on top of everything you do for Texas Tech, so thank you. I want to thank the Board of Regents, obviously, for welcoming me with open arms. It's been absolutely incredible to watch all of y'all work, not just for Texas Tech, but all of the communities in which we serve. It's been tremendously inspiring. I want to thank all of the presidents. In particular, I want to thank you, Dr. Lang, for not only doing a lot of work for Texas Tech, but representing El Paso as well, my hometown, our hometown, and just to see the impact that Tech has had on El Paso over the last decade. It's exciting to see where it's going to go in the next decade and beyond, so thank you. And then, of course, the students. All of y'all do incredible work. I mean, you give us just a quick taste of it here at every Board of Regents meeting. But the work that y'all do has a profoundly positive impact on students, not just in your class and in the classes below you, but for years to come, right? Don't ever forget that. Always put the students first, and you guys are doing a great job of that. Congrats to the new SJ presidents, and thank you to the ones who are going off into the real world, as you put it. So thank you. A few more words here. Chancellor Mitchell, you said a quote yesterday, and it really struck a chord with me in that, we're not in the higher education business, we're in the human development business, right? And higher education is just a tool in order for us to accomplish that. That's true on so many levels. I'm sure the students can attest to this, but Billy Breedlove, actually, you brought up the example yesterday of not just serving as a conduit of information and knowledge to your students, but putting them in real-world scenarios so that they don't just have the information needed to go into their careers, but they actually have the tools to succeed and make a difference in their careers. That happens every day on all of our campuses. I'm sure y'all can attest to this. So the student body is getting everything they need to go off and make a difference in not just West Texas, not just in this country, but in the entire world. Y'all did that for me. Just to have the opportunity to sit in and be a part of all of y'all wildly successful and passionate people, put your brains together to bring this university forward. It feels like I'm watching a movie sometimes, I gotta be honest. And just through that very fact, you've completely transformed what I believe is possible in my life and the impact I can have on others. It's really been a transformative year. I've grown so much, and I look forward to not only doing that for the patients I have in my life, but there's going to come a time when I want to come back and continue to do this for Tech. And the foundation that y'all are laying right now is going to be carried forward by us, right? I want you to remember that. I know sometimes it can be hard when you're coming over the finances of a new partnership or going over the details of a new building, whatever it might be. we're the ones who are going to continue to carry that forward, and all of your work that you're doing is helping us do that. I just want to remind you of that. From here, it's possible, right? It's my time to go off and prove that. Thank you.
Anyone else on the board want to share a thought with Honey?
Rick?
Rick, Dr. Lang, please.
No. Obviously, we're very proud of our students. We're proud of the way that they lead. We're also proud they're a part of a system that develops them as well. Hanny and Georgia and the Masquerader are just an example of the students in El Paso that benefit from what the system does out in far West Texas. And I want to thank you all, but I want to thank Hanny. His leadership on our campus is transformational as well. So we're very proud. He has one thing left to do. That's to return to El Paso when he finishes his residency. To ensure that, we had him marry an El Paso girl, okay? So it's in the cards, but I would be surprised if for decades to come, what you all have invested in Hanny with his leadership styles and what he's going to do, he has a place at our institution. I've already hired him. He hasn't signed the contract yet, but what he'll be doing for decades to come will be immeasurable. So Hanny, we're very, very proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. The board will now convene in executive session as authorized by sections 551.071 through .074 and .076 of the Texas Government Code. We're now in executive session. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes, yes. Anyone who needs to depart, this is the busy season. You need not wait on us. Please, careful, safe travels, and thank you for being here, okay? We are now in executive session. reconvene in open session. Regent Carrick Davis, please present the motions regarding the items discussed in executive session.
Okay, the motion is to approve revised ground lease of TTU real property. I move that the board authorize President Skuvenek or his designee to conclude the negotiations and amend the ground lease with the Red Raider Facilities Foundation executed on November 14th, 2022, and to undertake any other necessary action in the support of the construction project for the south end zone at Jones AT&T Stadium and a new football training facility, as well as additional stadium enhancements, all under the terms and conditions discussed in exec.
Thank you.
Second.
Second, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Thank you very much. We're in kind of an unusual situation. We have travel schedules, so we're going to reconvene now back into executive session and be there for just a little while, and I don't expect any other action coming out at that time. So we're back under Sections 551.071 through .074 and .076 of the Texas Government Code. We will now convene in executive session. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, there are no actions to be taken today on any of the items posted.
Thank you. With that said, the final item of business is announcements. Are there any announcements at this time? There being no further business to come before the board, do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
The meeting of the Board of Regents of the Texas Tech University System stands adjourned. Thank you.